right, today we're going to talk about box and whisker plots. I forgot my video is right there in the middle. Box and whisker plots. And this is just a way to deal with data. Okay, so you should have last week learned, or maybe it was this week, mean, median, mode. Okay, mean, median, mode, and range, but maybe range. Mean, median, and mode. Remember, mean is actually, I'm going to do this real quick. Yeah, I'm going to review you real quick. So mean, remember mean is the average. Okay, that's where you add them up, data, and divide. Okay, the median is when you put the numbers in, put data in data in order, and then it's the middle number. If you do not remember these, you need to write these down. The mode is the most frequent number, or the one that shows up the most. Okay, the most frequent number. Now, if you play the card game that I have below, you're going to lay out, you start with 7 cards, deck of cards. You lay out 7 cards, and then you put them in order from least to greatest, and you find the mean, median, mode, and range, I believe. Mean, median, mode, and range of those cards. Okay, it's really fun. And then you do 8 cards, and then you do 9 cards, and then you do 10 cards. So you put them back in the deck, and you do it again. Okay, so, but today we are going to, all you need to know how to do for the box and whisker plot that we're going to do is know how to find the median. Okay, so box and whisker plot. I'm going to have you write that down. Remember, you can always pause the video, and you need to draw this. Yes, you have to draw it. Draw it so you know what it's supposed to look like. This is what a box and whisker plot looks like. It has a box, and then it has whiskers. And you'll notice there's only 5 points on here. That means we only have to find 5 points. Okay, so we have the lower extreme, or you can just say lowest number, whatever. We have the lower quartile, which I'll talk about what that means. We have the median, we have the upper quartile, and we have the upper extreme. Those are your 5 points. So pause it and draw this, and then come back. Quartile, that just means 4. Core, Q-U-A-R. That means 4. That means this is split into 1, 2, 3, 4 even sections. That means the same amount of numbers is in each section. I know some may be bigger because the numbers may be more spread out. Okay, but if there's 5 numbers here, that means there's 5 here, 5 here, and 5 here. They're split. Okay, so we are going to find, we're going to do one. Okay, so don't worry about this yet. Right now, here, let me make this a little less overwhelming. We're going to make a box and whisker plot from the following data. So write this data down. So pause it and write that data down. Okay. When you come back over to the right or somewhere, this is how we find, these are the steps to do a box and whisker plot. If you follow these steps, you will be just fine. Okay. So let's start. Number 1, it says put in order. That means you put the data points in order from least to greatest. So our smallest number is 2, and I would mark them out once you get them. Next is 4. Next is 6. Then 7. Then 8. Then 11, 16, 20, 23. The most important part with doing mean, median, mode, range, box and whisker plots, all of that, I should move this so you can see what that actually said, is to make sure you have the right number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there's 9 and 9. So that's step 1. Put them in order. Done. From least to greatest. Make sure you have all your points. That's the number 1 mistake that's made. If there was 2 20s, you'd write both 20s. So find the median. So remember, median is the middle. Okay, so I'm going to change my pen color. All right, so remember, we can mark them out. I'm going to try to mark them out so we can still see them. So we have 4 on the left and 4 on the right. So 8 is our median. So circle that. You could even write it over here. 8 is our median. Okay, so then we have to split these up into the lower half and the upper half. Okay, and since 8 is by itself, we do not include it. If there were 2 numbers in the middle, and remember, if there's 2 numbers, you have to find its average, then you would include it. You would include the number on the left. But so now this, we have to find the median of these smaller numbers. So we have 2 and 7, 4 and 6. So this is our median. So what's right in between 4 and 6? The number 5. If you're not sure, do 4 plus 6 divided by 2, which is 5. So our lower quartile is what this is called, is going to be 5. Then we're going to find the median of the upper half. So we go like this. We have 11, 23, 16, and 20. Remember, you can have 2 in the middle, and then you have to find the middle of those. If they were the same number, if they were both 16, then it would just be 16. So halfway between 16 and 20, if you're like, I'm not really sure, then add them together. So that's 36 divided by 2, which is 18. So 18 is the upper quartile. All right? The hard work is done. This is just the smallest number. So you go over here, you circle the smallest number. It's 2. The largest number is 23. And then we're going to graph it. Okay, so all you have to do is find 3 medians and then get the lowest number and largest number. Okay, so now we're going to graph it. Now when you graph, you do have to have a number line. And it has to make sense. Okay, so we're going from 2 to 23. So does it make sense to go from 0 to 100? No, we don't want it so little that you can't read it. All right, so this one, I will probably go by 2s just because of the size. But if you want to go by 1s, that's fine. It just gets a little messier, and it's fine. All right, so I'm going to draw a number line. It does not have to be perfect. As you can tell, mine is not straight. Make sure you put arrows so we know it keeps going. Okay, I'm just going to start at 2. And I'm going to go by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. That's all I need. So I don't even need the rest of this line. Okay? I don't even need the rest of this line, which is fine. You can erase it. You can leave it. It does not matter. I'm going to erase it just so we don't get confused. Okay, if you can write smaller, then do it. Okay, and you can go by 1s. Okay, so we have that. I'm going to change back to purple. So then we just put a point above or below the line. Don't put it right on the line. Okay, so we have a point at 2. We're going to put points where all these are. We have a point at 5. Oops, so that's going to be halfway between 4 and 6. Ignore that little dot. Okay, my daughter pushed the button on there. Okay. So then we have 8, so we're going to put it right above 8. and then we have 18, and then we have 23, so halfway between 22 and 24. Now, remember it was a box and then whiskers, so the whiskers connect these last two. Whoops, hopefully yours will be better than mine. It'll connect these first two, and then the box. How I show people how to do that, just draw 3 lines through the dot, through the points, and then connect the bottom of the lines and the top of the lines. And there you've made a box and whisker plot. Okay, now what does this mean? Remember, this was our median, this was our middle number, and remember there's 2 numbers here. There's about there's 2 numbers here, 2 numbers here, 2 numbers here, 2 numbers here. Okay, we left the 8 out, remember, of this, so there's only going to be 8 numbers. So you don't know exactly all your data points, but you know the median, and you know the biggest number and the smallest number, and you know that this is the biggest space is right here between these 2 numbers. Okay, so there's little things you can tell from a box and whisker plot. Now, you do not have to draw these. I'm just going to talk to you about these. Here's an example. You may compare 20 and 21. I don't think they're test scores. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a quiz score. We'll just leave it like that. 20 and 2010. So when you look at this, there's a few things we can talk about. 2010 had a lower number that was lower than 2000 had a lower number than 2010, its smallest number. 2010 had a bigger number, so it looks like these scores may be a little better, but not necessarily, because look, this is half the scores right here, or whatever we're talking about, and it's a little bit farther to the right than this half. Okay, so remember that this portion and this portion have the same amount of numbers, so they're a lot more closer. This one's a lot more spread out. Okay, so there's just little things. You would be able, if I said what's the median of 2010, you'd say 17. If I said what's the median of 2000, you'd say 20. You can find the median. Okay, you could find the range, biggest number minus smallest number. You could not find the mean, because we don't know what all the numbers are. We only know what 5 of them are. We only know 5. We don't know what all the data points are. We only know the median of them. All right? Oh, one last thing. If you have numbers like 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and you have to find the median to start, okay, so we mark them off. You don't have to do these, I'm just showing you. And this is our median. So it would be 5.5, which is okay. When you go to find your lower quartile on this one, you're going to include the 5 on the left and include the 6 on the right. Where remember on this one, oops, we did not include this 8 because it was by itself. But if there's 2 and you find the median down here, you include those. So if you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you have an even number, you're going to include them.